You can't with us, man. Quit playing, man. I looked at you like a little brother, and then I ain't really that mad at you because you just a little easily influenced. Like I'm really mad at that Floyd because he got you doing this.
Bye. About Tank is just assuming he's going to be able to step up and fight an A-level guy. He's never even fought a B-level guy. He's never even unified. Like, not only is he fighting these low...
Well, we talked about it before. You know, we talked about it a few times. Yeah. But, you know, now that he is doing his own thing, you know, I hope the best for him. You know, I hope he is big as the world. I don't care. You know? I just want to do good.
He keeps alluding that there was something wrong there, that he wasn't happy with the support that he was getting. You know, is there something there from what he's saying, from what your relationship with him?
That's not really for me to come out and talk about. You know, I'll wait until he's comfortable with saying and letting people know his business. But you know, now that he's on his own, you know,
Gervonta Tank Davis's latest fight against Lamont Roach has sparked major controversy, with many questioning the legitimacy of the bout's outcome. Adrien Broner openly suggested the fight was rigged, claiming Roach was denied a fair victory. Floyd Mayweather also weighed in, revealing his perspective on the situation. Davis, who rose from Baltimore's tough streets to become one of boxing's most electrifying talents, built his reputation on knockout power and an undeniable charisma. His career trajectory skyrocketed under Mayweather Promotions, positioning him as a possible successor to Mayweather's legacy. However, tensions grew over time, with Adrien Broner feeling sidelined as Davis leaned more toward Mayweather's camp. In an interview, Broner admitted he and Davis had discussed these issues before but ultimately wished him success. He described their relationship as strained, reflecting on how they were once inseparable but had since drifted apart. Broner, who mentored Davis in the early stages of his career, expressed regret that he couldn't provide the necessary resources to support Davis fully. Recognizing this, he introduced Davis to Mayweather, believing it was in his best interest. Despite their
I brought him to the gym with an AB shirt on, but I didn't have everything right yet. You know, everything wasn't moving yet. You know, I was a little slow on my feet, so I gave him a flu. And every time we bring it up, Floyd like, "Thank you, AB. You gave me a good one."
Does that feel like a win for About Billions Promotions as well?
Course, of course, because at the end of the day, I don't care who promotes Gervonta Davis. I'm still going to support him. Same way. You know, he's a little brother to me.
Tank been around us since he was like 17, 16. Adrien was already famous on TV and everything. He brought him on the internet.
Saturday night we had a game plan. And you know, a lot of times when he says certain things on social media, I say, you know, he's to me, he's still a kid. And when I was that age, I probably would have did the same thing. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, you know, about what's right and what's wrong. He got the job done, but my hat off to Ryan Garcia, tough competitor,
Right?
tough
Let's just put it out there. What if he's a fraud? I know what you guys are thinking. Jerry, stop it. You're hating. There's no way. You don't know that. I don't know. We've never seen him fight a B-level fighter. Mario Barrios, these guys aren't B-level. Frank Martin ain't B-level guys. Stop the bullshit. There's always a thought in the back of my head, right? And I don't think Tank is a fraud. I would pick him over Devin Haney, a guy I'm really high on still after the Ryan Garcia situation, and Vasily Lomachenko, a guy I'm still high on at this old age. But we really don't know. There's really no evidence backing that he could beat Devin Haney or Lomachenko. Everything about Tank is just assuming he's going to be able to step up and fight an A-level guy. He's never even fought a B-level guy. He's never even unified. Like, not only is he fighting these low-level guys, but he's not looking the most impressive doing so. I mean, Frank Martin, who was arguably down too, he was down against Rolly Romero. He was down against Mario Barrios. You know, even Isaac Cruz was a very close fight, a 7-5 fight. And yes, of course, he's getting the knockout against, you know, most of these guys. I'm not going to sit here and argue that, but we got to admit that down tremendously on the scorecards. Like I said, I don't think Tank is going to get exposed or nothing. Like, he's not going to be an elite fighter when he steps up in competition, but it's something in the back of my mind. What if Tank is just a B-level guy? What if he's just a guy who's been beat on CNB?
Growing distance, Broner insisted he would always support Davis, regardless of promotional affiliations. Under Mayweather's guidance, Davis achieved tremendous success, but their partnership had its difficulties. Reports suggested Mayweather was often vocal about Davis's performances, sometimes criticizing him publicly. This likely played a role in Davis's decision to part ways with Mayweather Promotions, seeking more independence. The recent fight between Davis and Roach ended in a controversial majority draw, with a defining moment occurring in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach. Typically, such a move is ruled a knockdown, but the referee did not penalize Davis, allowing the fight to continue without interruption. This decision sparked outrage among fans and analysts, with many believing it changed the fight's outcome, robbing Roach of a deserved victory. Accusations of the fight being rigged quickly spread, with fingers pointed at Davis's camp and the officiating body. Critics have also questioned the legitimacy of Davis's record. Some argue he has yet to face a true A-level opponent, raising doubts about his ability to compete at the highest level. While his knockout record is impressive, he has been tested in fights where he struggled before securing victories. The concern remains, what happens when he faces top-tier competition?
When the fight was over, the first thing I said was, it's either going to be a draw or it's going to be a close decision to Lamont Roach. If they call this knee a knockdown, which they should have, a knee in boxing should count as a knockdown. It is what it is. We're not going to sit here and act like it's not. He wins that fight.
Look at his confidence, though. He's stalking Gervonta.
I'm going to tell you when his confidence went through the roof. After Gervonta took that knee and then went to his corner, Gervonta came back with a flirt. And Gervonta was landing.
And Lamont handled it all.
Handled it. After that, I was like, oh, Lamont ain't scared at all. Look at this. It's in the 6th round.
But look at his defense. Like, Lamont's defense is absolutely phenomenal. He's always ready to punch back. Look at him. Phenomenal.
And Tank was hitting him hard.
Yeah.
Look at Roach's face at the end of the fight. He's swollen.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Tank wasn't landing on him.
Nah, this kid can both of them.
Roach is tough, man. And then it's the whole Maryland, D.C. thing. Like, Roach can't get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He get knocked out. I got to go back to D.C. He got knocked out by Tank.
Nah, I can't do it.
He's fighting for a whole city.
Yeah. And it's really Baltimore, D.C.
Baltimore, D.C.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The rest of Maryland, nobody really giving a fuck. That's the real, you know what I mean? Like, if you're from Buckhead or wherever the fuck, what's the, no, not Buckhead.
I don't know.
There's some shit that, like,
no disrespect, Maryland. I only know Baltimore.
It's where all the white people live that work in D.C. but don't want to live there.
Oh, you talk about where, no, you talking about where that fucking, where the resort is. Oh, I know exactly. I was just there. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember right now.
Anyway,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But we've had 2 very high-level boxing matches in the last few weeks. The Beterbiev and Bivol fight and this one. Like, this is boxing at its best.
It's at its fucking best. It's make you love the sport.
It really does.
And this is why boxing is a great sport, because it's so unpredictable.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, it was something about Roach's confidence that was like, made me feel like, oh, Roach gonna be all right in that fight.
Look at that. Look at that. These guys are in a phone booth.
Good boxing, man.
The part with the grease in the eye, the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially? Just like the grease in the eye. But 2 is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you can see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
but you say you don't think he well enough.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat won't get in your eye, blood won't get in your eye. Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref. You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops is a no?
Hell no.
Fuck that.
You know how many Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that, but like he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that. Right. That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like,
competition that won't easily be knocked out. During their post-fight discussion, commentators Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne analyzed the referee's decision. They agreed that had the knee been ruled a knockdown, Roach would have secured the win. They also highlighted Roach's confidence and defensive skills, noting that despite Davis landing significant shots, Roach remained composed. In the aftermath, Davis claimed that hair grease caused irritation in his eye, leading him to take a knee. Roach dismissed this explanation, questioning how Davis suddenly experienced discomfort at such a critical moment when there had been no previous signs of irritation. Renowned trainer Greg Hackett weighed in on the possibility of a rematch, suggesting Roach would enter with the same determination, while Davis might hesitate, unsure of whether he could withstand another grueling 12 rounds. A rematch could offer Davis a chance to solidify his standing in the division, proving he can rise to the challenge rather than relying on favorable decisions. Prior to the controversy, Davis had limited options for meaningful fights. The disputed outcome with Roach, however, has reignited interest in a rematch, offering him a chance to silence critics. With other potential opponents either unavailable or tied to different promotional entities, running it back with Roach seems like the most logical next step. Davis now has an opportunity to not only redeem himself but also capitalize financially, securing another major payday while providing clarity for boxing fans eager for answers.
Bet on the draw. Bet on the draw.
Yeah.
It's the best way to go. Bet on the draw. That's where I think you make the money. I think what they gonna do is they gonna even the odds so big, so crazy. He ain't gonna make no money betting on either one of them individually.
Yeah.
So money gonna be on the odds. That's just what I think. It ain't come out yet, but if they fight in Vegas and they fight, and to be honest, I don't like that. Fight in Vegas. Bring it back on over to the East Coast. I don't like that.
The DMV makes sense.
I don't like how that smells. Something about the smell when you said Vegas. I don't like how that sounds.
I know a lot of people don't realize that. Like, no camp is perfect.
Yeah.
I quote when Gervonta was dealing with some stuff ahead of the fight, like some serious shit. Now,
yeah,
no excuse. Lamont put on a great show, but I'm curious to see what does he want to look like with his plate being clean now.
Right. I think, honestly, it don't matter whether he going through something or not. You know why? He respects Lamont, and we seen it. And I'm not just saying that because of how Lamont did. I'm talking about you really could see Tank had a lot of respect for Lamont. I got them starting off from the last fight, round 13, going right back into it. It's going to be a rumble.
So you feel like because of how the first fight went, it's not going to be no filling out. They just going to jump right into it and get busy?
Yeah, because what Lamont knows is if I don't win convincingly, if I don't knock him out, or if I don't beat the shit out of him, they not gonna give it to me. Tank know I can't go another 12 again, cause they gonna really say I have been exposed. That's one of the famous words. He's exposed. He exposed them. You know what I mean? That's the shit everybody say now. So Tank not trying to hear that neither. So Tank gonna be really going there seeking.
That he didn't want to fight, so that fell out the window in 2024. Maybe it can be revisited. Rayo just lost to Gary Antoine Russell. I was looking at Rayo as a possible Tank foe. We do know that Team Tank reached out to Team Rayo at a point. So, fast forward to the future. Shakur is doing deals with Turkey and Eddie Hearn. Seems like an obstacle. Tank says Eddie Hearn's a snake in a suit, and he doesn't seem to jive well with Turkey. Like he's like, this picture looks like a cult. It looked weird. And he's taking shots at the whole movement. You know what I mean? The whole Saudi stuff. So for me, I think this is great for Tank Davis because now you can rob the bank twice, run it back, fans feel a type of way, which we'll talk about more. And you get to, like I said, rob the bank twice, run it back, get the clarity that boxing fans want, and then you can worry about the next move. Now, this is funny. I tell you guys all the time, there's a lot of low quality content in the world of boxing, right? The usual suspects.
You never saw him lunging him. He was never able to time him. Gervonta, that is. He was never able to time Roach. He edged his way forward. It was discipline personified. That is what you need to do against a counterpuncher. You can't make mistakes. You can't overcommit. And that is what Roach did. I also thought Roach was great with the left hook. The left hook landed pretty well. And we saw Gervonta taking a lot more clean shots than we've seen in recent fights. I mean, he really was doing really well. It was up close as well. It was up close. He worked really well on the inside, Roach. And he was punching on the turn as well. So when Gervonta was trying to, use lateral movement and pivot out, Roach would follow him around and keep throwing punches. And that was really good as well because, when a counterpuncher or when anybody is on the move like that, it's extremely hard for them to counter you. So that is when you can commit a little bit more. And there were moments in the fight when Gervonta was in front of him with a high guard and Roach was throwing 3-4 punch combinations. Most of them weren't landing, but you'd get the third shot in or the fourth shot in. And overall, I just felt like it was a great game plan from Roach. I really did. And I have to be honest, during the fight, mid-round, I was like, okay, I expect it to start slipping away from now. I'd sort of almost built this narrative in my head of what I normally see with a Tank Davis fight. And before the fight, I was saying, first few rounds, expect Roach to probably rack up a few points. Gervonta will start to work him out, down the information, and then he'll start timing him. But as it went on, it just didn't happen. It just never came. And Roach rolled on, and he did such a good job. And I think that, look, I'm giving Roach all the credit here. It was close regardless. This was a close fight. He didn't win all the rounds. There were moments where Gervonta was having a little more success than landing those shots to the body, landing clean punches.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
Growing distance, Broner insisted he would always support Davis, regardless of promotional affiliations. Under Mayweather's guidance, Davis achieved tremendous success, but their partnership had its difficulties. Reports suggested Mayweather was often vocal about Davis's performances, sometimes criticizing him publicly. This likely played a role in Davis's decision to part ways with Mayweather Promotions, seeking more independence. The recent fight between Davis and Roach ended in a controversial majority draw, with a defining moment occurring in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach. Typically, such a move is ruled a knockdown, but the referee did not penalize Davis, allowing the fight to continue without interruption. This decision sparked outrage among fans and analysts, with many believing it changed the fight's outcome, robbing Roach of a deserved victory. Accusations of the fight being rigged quickly spread, with fingers pointed at Davis's camp and the officiating body. Critics have also questioned the legitimacy of Davis's record. Some argue he has yet to face a true A-level opponent, raising doubts about his ability to compete at the highest level. While his knockout record is impressive, he has been tested in fights where he struggled before securing victories. The concern remains, what happens when he faces top-tier competition?